Well, I bet you did not expect me to be on this tier maker, system, application, website, whatever you want to call it, but here I am. This video is going to be pretty fun to make. I love roasting other fan bases. So you see people making their anime, manga tier lists, right? But a lot of the time, they haven't seen every series on the tier list. So what I decided to do is rank every single manga and anime that I have read. That means I could have read or watched one chapter or episode, or I could have completed the entire series. Based on how much I completed of the series, I'm going to rank it. For example, if I read one chapter of Hajime no Ippo, which is not the case by the way, and I thought it was like pretty mid, I'm gonna put it in mid. You're just gonna have to understand that. Also, I have my fan on because it is hot as fuck. We got the tiers over here: culture, exquisite, pretty good, mid, kinda ass, and disgrace. Let's start this. Should be pretty fun. First on the list is 20th Century Boys. I'm gonna go in order. I don't want to just pick out a random series. I got 20th Century Boys. This was a manga that I read about last year. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely stunning mystery. Ridiculous plot twist. It's a Urasawa manga. It's gotta automatically go in at least exquisite for me personally. It might even go up in culture, but culture is for like the best of the best, if you know what I'm saying. Pokemon Adventures. Listen, Pokemon the anime is kind of shit. It's got Ash Ketchum and that's literally it. This kid has not changed his underwear longer than I've probably been alive. But the manga is fire. You should not consider the manga for what the anime is. The manga is actually kind of fire. That being said, I think I'm gonna put it, listen, if I put it in pretty good, I feel like I'm gonna get flamed. But once you get to the Unova region, once you get to Black and White 2, once you get to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, that's some good shit right there. Heart Gold, Soul Silver was great. Like, it's a lot different from the video games, and it's a lot different from the anime. So, I'm gonna leave it there for now. It depends what else I put in pretty good, but actually now that I look at it, 20th Century Boys and Pokemon should not really compare. So I'm gonna move 20th Century Boys to culture. Next is Vagabond. Vagabond goes in culture. There should be no explanation here. It is Vagabond. It is my second favorite manga ever. Musashi is like one of the greatest characters ever made. He's one of the coolest real life examples of masculinity and becoming the best version of yourself through the way of the samurai. It's in culture. Goodnight Pun Pun, another culture. I mean, we're just on a roll here. While I'm at it, I might as well put Berserk in culture as well. Listen, I feel like Berserk and Vagabond should have their own tier, but if we're going by this system, they belong in culture. Goodnight Pun Pun as well is a series that is extremely depressing, a manga which has caused a lot of people to do some wild shit to their own lives. It is definitely a tough read if you're not ready for it, but it deserves culture for the way it's written, for the way the main character is written. These three series here, excluding 20th Century Boys, are primarily the way that they are because of their main characters, except Berserk, because everything about Berserk is good. Griffith is a phenomenal, probably the best villain antagonist in all of this medium. That's just my opinion. I'd even say in all of media in general, though I have a lot more of that to experience. Regardless, let's move on to some more mainstream stuff. Jujutsu Kaisen. What do I think of Jujutsu Kaisen? To be completely honest, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's mid. I think it's pretty good. It's enjoyable. It's cool. I'm sure if I read the manga, I'd like it more because I have, for some reason, trouble reading the anime. It's pretty good. Next, we have Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is also, in my opinion, pretty good. I put it on the same level as Jujutsu Kaisen, even though I've seen more of it than Jujutsu Kaisen, which means even if I saw more of JJK, I don't see it going into exquisite. There's a chance, but it's not very big. I can already see the comments being pissed off that I have Pokemon Adventures in the same tier as two of the most popular currently airing anime. Listen, man, do not doubt Pokemon Adventures. It gets good. It gets really good. It might just be nostalgic because I read it when I was like 10 years old. But listen, it's a great manga. Obviously, it's not like top tier, but it's better than a lot of the current shonen. Code Geass. I didn't put R2 as a separate Code Geass. Listen. Let me talk! Let me talk! Let me talk! Listen, I don't care that the characters look like they're pencil necks. I don't care that they're like 7'3", 120 pounds. I don't care that Lelouch has got no muscle. This is a culture anime. This is like the greatest anime, aside from probably Attack on Titan. And obviously I'm talking anime, not manga. The protagonist Lelouch is just next to none. The story is extremely fascinating, great concept, unbelievable development of the main character. The mystery, the suspense, the plot twists, the ending. The ending alone puts it in culture. I mean, you could watch 49 episodes and not enjoy it, but it would be worth it because of that ending, how perfect it was, and how much it just like fit in with the themes of the story. Too good. Dandadan. Recently made a video on Dandadan. Listen, I only read 27 chapters of it. I've not read most of it, so it's going in mid. First mid, it's gonna get a lot of people pissed, but I've not read a lot of it. Bleach. So with a lot of these big three shonen anime, I have mixed opinions on them depending on the time of the year. I don't know what it is, that's just the way I am. For me, it goes in pretty good. There's a lot of things I would like to see done differently with Bleach. It is shonen, it's been a long time since it started airing, so I kind of understand that. Ichigo as a protagonist is good, but he could be a lot better. Aizen, phenomenal antagonist. Yuha, phenomenal antagonist. Just for me, Bleach has a little bit more that it should offer to actually push into exquisite. So next is Full Metal Alchemist. This is the 2004, I think it was, like the original anime with the different ending. Listen, a lot of mixed opinions here as well. I saw this before I saw Brotherhood. I think Full Metal Alchemist, the original, is pretty good. I don't think it's mid. I don't think it's bad. I think it's pretty good. The ending is a little weird. I watched the movie that came after it, which kind of explained things a little bit more. I just don't like the fact that they introduced a completely new concept at the beginning, and it felt a little bit weird. Plus, the pacing was not of the manga, so I'm just not going to even get into that because that's probably the biggest complaint people have. It has been a very long time since I watched the original Full Metal Alchemist. I still think it's pretty good. Now remember, there are like ranges in these tiers. Like if I'm doing pretty good, I'd probably have Pokemon towards the end or Full Metal Alchemist towards the end. I'd probably have Bleach or Chainsaw Man towards the front of it. Like these things are kind of ranked. Obviously Berserk's the greatest manga of all time, Vagabond second. But you get the idea of it. Like I'm not really trying to rank them. I'm just pointing out the fact that there are like levels to this thing. Hajime no Ippo is a culture manga. Shut the fuck up. If you think because this thing is 1400 chapters it's not worth the read, you can just fuck right off. Because bro, the amount of character development, the fight scenes, the emotional moments, the connections to real life, not just in sport, how sport affects our mental state, all in a shonen series that you think is just like a hype boxing manga, which the anime kind of is. Once you get into the manga, it's so much deeper. Ippo's character after like the 1200s is top tier. Hajime no Ippo's culture, don't care what you say, it's culture. Okay, JoJo's part 1. I've seen 2 parts of JoJo's. Part 1, listen now, okay? I think that JoJo's part 1 is kind of ass. I mean that truthfully. I feel like JoJo's part 1 is not that good. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. 3.5, 4 out of 10. I'm going to get flamed in the comments. It is what it is. I think the concept was boring. It was really short. Jonathan is like just a lame protagonist. Dio is pretty cool, but it's nothing crazy. So kind of ass for me personally. Kingdom. Kingdom is a culture manga. Come on, guys. Kingdom? 750 whatever chapters. I'm not even caught up. I have like 6 chapters to go. But like, dude, the fight scenes of this manga, the artwork, it's breathtaking. That's like the perfect way to describe Kingdom. The politics, everything about it. The main character is great. The secondary main character, who's also like the main character, one of my favorite characters, period. Just an amazing story. You need to read Kingdom. If you think Berserk and Vagabond are really good, Kingdom will like be right up there with them. They could honestly be like the big 3, even though you could argue Vinland Saga instead. The Climber, Koko no Hito, the first exquisite of this ranking. Why did I not put it in culture? Because I'm only about halfway through the manga. So think, if I'm only halfway through the manga and I complete the entire thing, where do you think it's going to end up? Probably going to end up in culture. The symbolism with the mountains. This mangaka, the amount of genius you need to have to take such a simple concept like rock climbing, climbing mountains, and tie it into something like loneliness, depression, inability to communicate with people, being unable to understand people, overcoming adversity. Just, oh my goodness, it's such a phenomenal story The symbolism with the mountains, as I mentioned, is just next level. It really resonates with me on the loneliness part. Oh my god. It could really go up in culture. I'm just not putting it there because I've not seen the entire thing. Literally only like halfway through. Blade of the Immortal, I've seen about 20 chapters of, and this was quite a while ago. It's where Rin and, what's my man's name? Remember the girl's name was Rin, and the main character, oh, I think Manji. Manji was his name. Manji and Rin, they're doing their thing. They're traveling around. They're beating up people from the clan that killed Rin's mom or dad. Dad, I think. You can tell it's been a long time. I still think it's a pretty good manga. Definitely has potential to go exquisite and into culture. I just got to get back into it. Steins Gate. Okay, this is a tough one. I think Steins Gate is an exquisite anime. I truly think it's better than Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and the rest of the gang in pretty good. I love time travel in stories. I love time travel, and Steins Gate was a perfect, simple, no, okay, it's not simple, but it's a short 24 episode, incredible story. Ending, great, even though I didn't fully understand it. Story, idea of the time machine, Okabe, protagonist, phenomenal. It's a great story. It's a great anime. I think it deserves exquisite. You could argue pretty good, but for me, I think I'd put it in exquisite. So, I didn't talk about Boruto, I just swung it in disgrace.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But I'm going to absolutely tear apart Fairy Tail. Okay? Let me get into Fairy Tail real quick. This anime is the biggest pile of turd I've ever watched. Okay? Natsu. Garbage protagonist. Every other character, mid as hell. Urza's pretty cool. But like other than that, it's boring. It's a child's show. Literally a kid's show. There's too much comedic moments in all of the important parts of the story. The story is just lame. Like, what are they... Like, I can't even remember what they're fighting for. The plot armor is beyond, like, Naruto plot armor. It's like some other... Dude, it's like... That armor is made out of some other material. It is just bad. Now, I will give it like a 1 out of 10 simply because of the personality, okay? They got some great personality in Fairy Tail. If you know what I'm talking about, that's the best part of the story. It goes in disgrace. Trash. Worst anime. Worst TV show I've ever seen in my life. This thing is garbage. With that being said, Monster is culture. From the bottom of the list to the top of the list, Monster by Naoki Urasawa. As I mentioned, is Naoki Urasawa. This man is one of the greatest mangaka ever. His mystery, his suspense, his plot twist, the connection to all the characters. Johann Liebert alone puts this in culture. Simply, that's it. Tokyo Ghoul, this shows the anime, but I'm talking the manga. Remember, if one of these things here is a shit anime, I'm going to automatically refer to the manga. Like if Berserk, we're talking the anime, it's pretty bad. Let's be honest. But if we're doing the manga, it's the greatest thing ever. So, Tokyo Ghoul, manga, this is tough. I would probably go exquisite. And if I can find Tokyo Ghoul Re, I think it's this. I'd also put that in exquisite. It's hard though. I think I'm actually going to lower it to pretty good. There are certain moments in Tokyo Ghoul Re which were really just... I don't know about it. Like Toka and Kaneki, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Towards the end, that last arc, I couldn't really understand or care less. Kaneki just goes through the same thing, left and right, same thing. He loses his mind, he's crying, he gets resurrected, Rize shows up, like all this stuff is the same. The reason I have Tokyo Ghoul, the original, the first one in exquisite, is because Kaneki vs. Jason was incredible. The ending, the last fight with all the characters was incredible. Great character development from Kaneki. Jozu, I think his name was. The guy with the white hair. All those characters. What was the guy's name? The really cool, freaking dude from the police force or whatever. I forgot his name. But, I love a lot of the characters in the original Tokyo Ghoul. Some of them shit the bed in Tokyo Ghoul Re, so it's just pretty good. Hunter x Hunter, for me... including the manga, it's exquisite. So let's include the manga. It's an exquisite manga. A lot of people are going to be disappointed that I did not put it in culture. I simply think that the first arc, the Greed Island arc, and some parts of Chimera Ants were just not good. They were slow. They didn't do anything. Greed Island especially didn't do anything. Like the first arc, you can argue they introduced the characters and whatnot. Greed Island literally did nothing. So when I put it in exquisite, it's not a masterpiece because of those flaws. Haikyuu, for me, it's pretty good. I watched this a long time ago. I've not even like been exposed to the series in like 4 years, but from what I remember, Haikyuu is a great anime. I watched up till season 4, I think, when they were in like the nationals, I think it was. Very hype moments, great characters, just beautiful teamwork, music's pretty good. It deserves pretty good. Death Note for me. Looking at what I have in pretty good, I'm gonna go exquisite for Death Note. It can't really have that level up to culture for me, simply because, I don't know, I just don't feel like it's culture for me. I love the connection between Light and L. I'm not saying it's not culture because the last third of the series wasn't as good as the first 2/3. I do think the end was good. A lot of people don't think it's good. Listen, Light's death was foreshadowed from the beginning. I accept that death. I think Nier being the one to kill Light makes sense because he had the information that L previously had on top of his own intelligence. So it does make a little bit of sense. I don't think the ending was bad. The concept is genius. The parallel between the protagonist and antagonist, genius. The music, genius. Suspense, mystery, plot twist, all genius. It could go culture, but I'm going to keep it an exquisite for now. One Piece is a culture manga. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. It might just not be for you, but you can at least agree, like, objectively, One Piece is culture. It's too iconic. It has too many incredible moments. It has the best cast probably ever. World building. How many times have you heard One Piece world building? It deserves to be in culture, in my opinion, especially. Holy crap, especially after Wano. Jesus Christ. After Wano alone might just be the best part of the series. Demon Slayer. Whoo, Demon Slayer. Did not do much for me. It's mid. Demon Slayer is the definition of a 5 out of 10. 50 out of 100. 500 out of 1,000. Demon Slayer is a 50%, and unless the ending is good, which I heard it sucked, it will remain a 50% or go lower than that. It is never passing the math exam. It stays at a 50%, even though 50% is passing.
This is great banter. It really is.
49% is not passing the exam. It's just not. It's mid. I don't like Tanjiro. I don't like the story. I don't like the supporting characters. I don't like that every new season has to be a new Hashira and that's it. Rengoku is cool. Music is cool. Animation is like out of this world. But who cares? The animation doesn't make a good story. Gray Man, you better watch that recent video of mine because it is absolutely crushing my soul that it has like no views. Gray Man's a culture manga. If you talk about like the first 90 chapters, it's probably in mid or pretty good. But if we're talking like the post 200s, you thought Attack on Titan, Death Note, Code Geass have crazy twists. Read The Gray Man. Hell's Paradise manga was pretty good from what I remember. Have not checked out the anime, though I'm pretty sure it flopped because no one's talking about it. But the manga was pretty good. Didn't actually complete it. About 97 chapters, didn't complete it, won't complete it, don't care. It's pretty good. That's about it. You're a Lion April. Holy crap, I'm about to get melted in the comments. Listen, for the love of God, listen. I don't like teenage romance. I don't care for teenage romance. I don't care about high school romance. I dropped Your Lie in April after like 12 episodes. So all I know is the 12 episodes. The ending could be the greatest thing ever. I'm pretty sure I know what the ending is anyway because I got spoiled. I don't care about Your Lie in April. It stays in mid for me. Let's just move on. Tokyo Revengers, that is a... Okay, listen. It was good. It was good. It was good. I didn't see the ending, but it was good. It's just kind of ass. Okay? Something about it just doesn't click for me. Like, I loved it at first. The more I continued and really thought about it, I'm like, it's not that good. Especially with the anime. The way the anime goes. Decent animation. Like, not that good animation. Not the best adaptation. The ending of the manga was just a freaking comedy show. I would put it in disgrace, but just for the first 3/4, I'll leave it in kind of ass. Especially because I didn't even read the ending. I've just like heard what happens. I've read the last chapter, even though I stopped at like 208 before that, but whatever. One Punch Man, I watched the first 2 seasons of the anime. One Punch Man for me is not the greatest thing ever. It's just a pretty good anime. The manga might put it to exquisite, might even put it to culture. But from what I've seen in the 2 seasons of the anime, it's pretty good. That's like literally all I remember. I don't even think did I even watch the 2nd season? I can't even remember. Might have just watched 1 season. It's pretty good. Saitama is a very interesting protagonist. That's about it. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. People think this is a culture anime. Some people think it is the most overrated anime. But listen, my boy Westside Live said it best. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood does everything fine. It does everything above average. Every part of the story is good. There are no downs in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. But for me to put it in culture, it needs to have insane moments. It needs to have moments where I truly think to myself, this is a one-of-a-kind story. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood does not have that. The ending, people think the ending's the greatest thing ever. It was like the only option for an ending. It was like the most basic ending. It was a good ending. It was complete, but it was just basic. They didn't take any leaps and bounds. They didn't jump past the realm of like shonen anime or anything. Look at the other series on here. The Gray Man goes above and beyond. Berserk, Vagabond, everything on here just goes above and outside of the realms of possibility. Fullmetal never did that. So for me, it's just exquisite. Which, that being said, is still a really high rating. That's like an 8 out of 10 for me. Naruto, I put the original Naruto. This includes the entire Naruto series. People think it's culture. People think it's garbage. I think it's pretty good. Naruto is a pretty good series. You know what? I might even push it to exquisite. But I won't, because some parts of Shippuden were very lackluster. I just think it's pretty good. Naruto's iconic. It's a great story, great characters. The ending sucked, let's be honest. Forget Boruto. Naruto itself, as a series, including Shippuden, was pretty good. Parasite, I watched 17 episodes of Parasite before dropping it. I just didn't really care for it. The protagonist was really good, but other than that, I kind of got bored of the concept. 7 Deadly Sins is kind of ass, in my opinion. Why? Can't care less about the characters. The ecchi is too much. The romance just makes me sick. I don't like that kind of stuff. Especially when I'm trying to get to the story, but the characters are all in love with each other. Like, I don't care. Kind of ass for me. Only seen the 2 seasons of the anime, and that's it. Real by Takehiko Inoue. Get this manga in the culture tier right the fuck now. If you've not read this manga and you're a fan of Vagabond or Slam Dunk, holy, you're missing out. Real is top tier. Probably my favorite sports manga ever. Just the connections to real life, the realism, oh my goodness. Like, look at the name, Real. The realism. It's about wheelchair basketball. It's about overcoming adversity. It's an unbelievable story. You should read it. Attack on Titan is culture. Don't care about the ending. It's a culture manga. It's too iconic. Too many plot twists. Just mind-boggling how many plot twists. It transcends anime. Eren Yeager is a one-of-a-kind protagonist. It's phenomenal. The politics, the world building, Season 4 itself is culture. Like, Season 3 Part 2 itself is culture. Well, Chapter 139, forget it, okay? Forget it. Never happened. Vinland Saga, also culture. Do I even need to talk about Vinland Saga? It's Vinland Saga. Thorfinn, phenomenal protagonist. Askeladd, incredible. Canoe, my favorite character in the show. My opinion, the best character in the show. Highly debatable, I don't care. That's my thought on Canute. Phenomenal characters. I love the Viking aesthetic. The first opening is still in my gym playlist. And last, we got JoJo's Part 2, which I think is pretty good. Still got to get back into JoJo's, but I got to complete Part 2 first. Still haven't completed it. It's been over a year. That's it. In general, this is my list. This is what I think. As you can see, I haven't seen many bad anime. 5 anime that I just didn't like, which is pretty freaking good for what I've seen. So that's about it. Hope you liked the video. If it was entertaining, I did not expect to spend 28 minutes recording this video, but as long as it does well, as long as you like it, I'm cool with it. Thanks for watching and take care.